Yo, what's the deal, Gravity TV? So check it out, y'all. You guys already know my name is Gravity, and we are on Gravity TV. Y'all are the Gravity TV family. Right now, I'm in Houston, Texas. Yo, H-Town, say what's up! Yeah! H-Town, we are at the Break Free 8-year anniversary. This is actually the first time going live on Gravity TV with an audience. This is like kind of like dream come true. Gravity TV, we doing some things, but we couldn't have done it without the Break Free family, the guests in the hip hop community, my team, Monster Energy, Moy, Break Free, freaking the whole Break Free squad. Shipley's Donuts, man. We are out here, y'all. We are opening up with the Q&A for the Monster Energy Breakers. Plus, we have legendary Lego, the man, the myth, the legend, my man right here, Zulu Gremlin, doing the thing. Listen up, y'all. What's really dope about today, and I'm gonna start speaking to y'all, the cameras will keep rolling. What's really dope about today, y'all, is that we get to share our minds with not just my peers, but people who have paved the way, people who have done some incredible things in the scene, who have innovated. And actually, we have some other people here from Skill Methods, and it's crazy, you know. We have some dope people here in H-Town, man, so please make some noise, y'all. Man, so there's a lot of familiar faces in here, especially Javi, HTX Tactical. I got like just really dope crews up in here too, man. We have Miami in the building, y'all. It's just really dope to have all of y'all here today, so really appreciate y'all. I guess we could start off with the first question, man. If anybody has a question, it would be directed towards my team, but I just want to let everybody know our crew and our crew and what we represent, our team and what we represent, man, we really, really are trying to innovate the game, elevate the scene on a professional level with keeping the culture moving forward. We don't ever want to lose our culture and our background where we come from, but there is a sense of professionalism that we do try to uphold and we do try to kill the game with, man. So if anybody has any questions, man, ask away. And by the way, on Gravity TV, we keep it super funky. So if like I tell my people on Gravity TV, you know, you can leave a thumbs up, but if you ain't feeling the content, drop a thumbs down. I'm gonna tell y'all, if you have a question, keep it super real, and I'm gonna expect y'all to do the same thing on here. Keep it super funky, yeah? First question, let's go. Come on, come on. What's your name? Hold up.
Woo! First question, yeah.
Hey, Monster Energy. What's up, legends? Real quick. If you could change anything in the b-boy scene, what exactly would it be? And I mean more like event-wise.
Ooh, that's a good one. Who wants to answer that? Come on, y'all. Oh, Maka.
Are you talking about the B-girl scene too?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Damn!
First things first.
Well, with that being said, that's what I would change.
No doubt.
Gender equality.
Very much. But just more so, and that's this is also probably what I actually uphold anyway, you know, but just definitely the inclusion, you know, verbally and everything with B-boys and B-girls, you know, just like really understanding how important it is to make sure we don't leave anybody out, you know. So I love to use the term of breaker, you know, because I think that's for all of us, you know. So it's not gender specific, you know what I mean? And we break, you know. So that's what we do. But just off of that, you know, that's what I just had to say.
Just so you know, Maka came on the team and she was like, Monster Energy B-Boys, now we need to change that. First things first, this is Monster Energy Breakers. That's the first thing she did. I ain't even lying. We had to get used to that. So just so y'all know, she came in, and I think that's dope that you took assertive there.
Yeah, and it's a process, you know. So obviously with the way things started, you know, how terms were used, you know, in the beginning. So, but you know, we B-boys, we B-girls, and we all break, you know. So that's one thing. Yeah.
I could add on to that, and I think like not adding on, maybe a question like for Zulu Gremlin and Lego, since you guys have kind of seen how jams and competitions have changed over the years, what is something you think is maybe lacking, or something you miss maybe in competitions that we can use today to help?
I don't think that we're lacking things. I like the fact that there's all types of events going around the world.
Yes.
You know, So it depends what kind of events you're looking for, you know. So I mean, you have rebel competitions, you know, you have fan fest, break free. Everybody does their event their own way. So I don't think we lose anything. I just think it makes the whole, you know. So it's dope to go to different events with different type of ways about going to their event. Does
That's
that
a
make
dope
sense?
way to look at it. Hell
Yeah.
yeah, no doubt. Oh, he got a mic.
Yeah, that's actually it's an interesting question because looking at it from the perspective of the event goer, there's a bunch of things that I would say are in need, and I mean ultimately we're all looking for a genuine support system that's sustainable, so that you're not spending so much time fishing trying to be able to do a quality event. The quality events are based on how much you're able to raise to be able to give quality events, and a lot of times you're working with companies that it's a hurry up and race to wait game in some instances. So from the event goer's perspective, there needs to be a little bit more of the traditions should be back into the event a little bit more. It shouldn't be just a spectator thing. Like, you should be able to feel like you had your chance to do what you do on a non-competitive level, and then be able to see those different, because remember, we're talking about the duality of a b-boy or a b-girl. We do it for self, but then we do it for competition. And when we do it for competition, we usually do it for love, money, and respect, but not usually in that order. So for us, respect is important.
No doubt.
So it should be that we do it for respect first. And that would be a good start.
Yes.
And so that if we seen it genuinely back in the days that we did it for respect, to build our name, to get fame in the game, and that was where it started, it would be less serious to some people, which that takes away some of the fun, because remember, it's peace, love, and having fun. And when it's only competition, then there is no fun. I see a lot of people come in and they're so serious, they didn't have any fun, and they went all the way to the finals and lost, so they had zero fun till the very end. And remember, in a competition, any events that are competition-based, there's 1% of positivity and 99% of negativity, which we call the damage control. So if you took it back to fun, that would be meaning the DJs know how to play music that make you feel good, not just ones for battling. And opposite, we don't want to hear feel-good records in the battles. And so these are all things that are I'm talking about appropriation of what needs to be done at the right times for things to go better. And once we get back to that, which is still fundamentally just the jam, we get back to that, then people will want to show up for more than just one reason. And then the emotions that you see on the floor will be so much more genuine. And then from there, we have those that we can say that we've shown our lifestyle in so many different ways in one night. And that's what people need to see. The next generation need to see that also.
Yo, that is a dope answer. I hope that answered your question. Golly. Another question. Let's go, y'all. Come on. Go ahead, baby. Name and go for it.
My name is Michiko. Sorry if this is kind of a long question, but I've seen that, especially even up here, there's so many generations, and there's so many generations of breakers, and I've seen that there's more conflict now almost between the different generations. How do you guys feel that, why those conflicts are there, and how do you bridge those generational gaps?
I think that's a good question for me to answer.
That is a fuck.
Yeah, I think it all comes with self-respect. If you don't respect yourself and you don't respect what you do, I think it's harder to respect people and what they do. It's kind of like saying, like, love yourself before you can love anybody, and it comes from that, you know. Me coming up really young in the game, like, I'm not supposed to be sitting with, like, these two legends right here. Like, that's not supposed to be happening, you know, unless you have respect for what you do and you have self-awareness for the path that they were able to provide for us, because without them or without somebody like Moy, we wouldn't be able to have this. So it's a respect thing, you know, following the code, like knowing, like, these are the guys that paved the way, and we have to still show them that respect and still be able to evolve with what he said, still implementing the culture from where they came from and kind of evolutionizing that and implementing into what we're doing today.
No doubt. So, if I add on that real fast, I'm gonna be super funky. There is mad entitlement in our dance culture. dancers, breakers, artists in general are just mad entitled. So you come in and you get really good, and then we're taught automatically to challenge. We just did a bunch of workshops about battling. I legit was working with y'all on how to challenge somebody else. And a lot of the times when you enter competitions, the newer b-boys or b-girls, breakers, are going to battle some of the older guys or girls, and the first thing you guys are going to do is feel entitled and step. I think respect is one thing, but I think it's to humble yourselves. You know, I think less entitlement in our culture will really help. But then again, I don't want to take away from the energy of a battle. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like the OGs and the older b-boys feel super entitled as well for things that they've done in the past. I think there is a conflict that there's less of this conversation happening, and there's more of this conversation happening, and there's a lot of misunderstanding happening. You know, there is a lot of different generations up here. I may be the same age as like Jeff, or actually I'm a little older, but you know, so I just hit 30. I'm like, dang. But I may be, you know, breaking as long as some of the people up here, but longer than others. And I've seen a lot, and I've been entitled myself and been an asshole myself to my older generation. And I definitely did not respect them just because they were dancing longer than me, and I wish I would have. So I think just in general, I think if more b-boys that are coming up and b-girls that are coming up can just understand that entitlement is not okay. Like, you know, I think we will have a lot more progression. Anybody else want to add on to that?
I mean, it's also, again, the respect, you know, like respect. He's older generation than me, you know, it's respecting that, but also respecting new generations,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? So it goes up to the individual to do their homework. I'm middle ground, you know, so I respect the future and I respect the past, you know. So it's knowing the order of operation as well, you know.
Yeah.
Very important.
Hell yeah.
And one more thing too, because sometimes, and you'll see it a lot, you'll have younger b-boys who will kind of kiss ass to the older b-boys and feel like that's the way to go, and it's not. You know, it's having that conversation to be able to create that mutual respect, because then that's how sometimes people get gassed up. You know, it's better for you to be able to have that conversation, be like, hey man, I respect what you do, and vice versa. You know, some people are like, oh, that's the only way for me to make it, and it's like, nah, like OGs come from a different time, like the real time, like when everything was a lot more real, code was real,
A lot harder.
yeah, like they respect when you actually show that interest, you know, not just because, man, they'll smell that from a mile away, like you just trying to kiss ass to make it, you know. So I think just staying true to yourself is really, really the key to get in with them and with anybody else.
Well, at least for me, you know, when I look like a Storm or a Ken Swift or Battle Squad, like I still see them like as superstars, you know. Like I'm still like that respect level, you know, because it wasn't for them, like Hizaku said, I wouldn't be here, you know. So it's understanding and having that much respect and still seeing them for what they were, no matter if you surpass their skill level or not. You still respect them for who they are, you know. I'm still like when I see Ken Swift, it's still the same time like the first time I seen him, you know. So it's that respect.
I think it's
Maka, go for it,
I think
girl.
it's no. I think it's also just important to understand that I mean, most of the people that start breaking, you're young, you know, and a lot of times as young kids, you just, you know, you just want to do something. You want to shine. You want to do something. You want to do your best. A lot of times you're hard-headed. You don't want to listen to what anybody else is saying. You know, you're just gunning for it, you know, and that's just a phase, you know, like as it's all part of growing up and being, you know, being human beings, you know, and at some point you have to grow out of that. You have to see the bigger picture. You have to understand the history. You have to understand the people that came before you, you know, and also at the same time, I think we're older people in the breaking scene, it's also important just to keep your mind open to understanding that it's a different generation now, you know, and it's not the same as it was before, and things change, you know, with hip-hop, with any art, things change, you know, they evolve. It's a different generation. So so I definitely think it's very important for both ways to try to find that middle ground and be open both ways. But again, it's stages that we go through as in life, period, you know, so and this is part of our life. So I just wanted to add that.
Real fast, I think it would be a really good time actually if everybody could just say how long they've been breaking, so you guys can get a good gist of, like, you know, time frame and actually gap. You know what I'm saying? So, Zeku. Yeah.
I've only been breaking 9 years. Yeah.
Breaking?
Yeah.
37.
37. Just so you know, this man does a lot more than
Wow.
just breaking.
25 years.
Yes.
I've been dancing for about 11 years.
15.
12 years.
2. Nah, me 13. 13. 13.
Yeah, same 13 right here, y'all. So just so you guys have an idea. And I guess I should have been more general. Not just breaking, but dancing in general. I'm pretty sure.
I was dancing in the womb, you know. I was just
Oh,
this.
my Jesus. Maka.
Yeah, for me in my era, breaking, everybody was dancing way before we saw breaking, before we witnessed it. So by 9 years old, we were already doing the robot, the funky robot, the backslide, the moonwalk, side glides. All of those things were kind of standard for a
crazy.
kid.
That's tight.
That means the exposure of Soul Train and from the Gong Show.
Yeah, I grew up watching
a
Soul
couple
Train,
different
bro.
shows.
Saturdays.
There were several variety shows that exposed different things that related to the robot, so that was already exposed pretty heavily. When breaking, the end of '81, when breaking was really exposed, it didn't change people's lives, but it added to their lives, but it changed their lifestyle.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's something very important to understand about what hip-hop culture did with the existing street dance culture that existed.
No doubt. Hell yeah. We had a question in the back. Hold up, let me make it to you, bruh.
Dirty James, Cause Crew, Killing All Whackness. I don't know you personally. I don't know Jeremy personally. I don't know Moy personally, but I do know you guys are parents. I'm going to become a parent next month. Yeah. I've been dancing the past 8 months like I'm never going to dance again and stuff like that. How did you guys change your mind? How did you guys keep going? You know.
I'm going to let y'all know I got 4 kids.
That's it.
So my first kid was at 21. My daughter was born the day I was leaving the BC1. I'm sorry. Yeah, she was born the night before I left. So I left to BC1 at 7 in the morning to Japan for the first time ever. My daughter was born at 11 p.m. at night, the night before. And so I was borderline, you know. Not going to make it to BC1. Not going to make it to my daughter's birth. No, just kidding. I got to be honest, y'all. You know, when I first started breaking, I wanted to be the best in New York. I wanted to be the best then in the States, and then I wanted to be the best in the world. That was my number one goal. And after I had my child, not one bit of me felt like I needed to stop or I needed to have a plan B or I needed to rethink my approach or the path I chose. The first thing I thought was, oh, man, I can't wait till my kids get older and see what I did.
Nice.
You feel me? It actually changes your mentality on if you ever see me with my children, I bring my kids to jams. They're running around and they don't have to dance. I don't expect my kids to dance, but it definitely gave me this drive. I wanted my kids to be proud. I know that they're going to grow up one day, God willing. They're going to grow up one day. I want them to see me and be like, oh, that's my dad, or my dad does this. I want them to be proud. I wanted to, and that's why I started vlogging too, you know. It's like if I pass away tomorrow, my kids can always look back and be like, this is what my dad did. Being a father should not, becoming a father should not make you feel like it's over. You have a choice. There's sacrifices that you're still gonna have to make. You know what I'm saying? Like I've missed certain things. I've missed my first daughter's first steps. I got to see it on camera, but I happened to leave for an event. Who knows when they're gonna do these things? You know what I'm saying? But I know that every second I'm with my kid, I give them 1,000% of my time, and that's for me. And I know that other b-boy fathers out there, they do this as well. But I just want I want you to know, like, from one b-boy or breaker to another, one dancer, one artist to another, this should drive you, bro. Because man, do you want your kid to have a passion for something and then quit because they have a kid? Nah, you want them to be like, yo, my dad didn't quit, I'm not gonna quit. Like, oh, my dad did what he loved and he still took care of me. No, I'm gonna do that. You know, like, and that's how all 1,000 of my kids think.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been losing my voice all week, but for me, I think that
balancing that out, it's always tough, and you really never know what you get yourself into until you're kind of going through the motion of being a part of it, because everything is so brand new. Every day I wake up, my kids do something different, and regardless of their age, they're doing something different. I just found out my son does TikTok videos, and I'm like, how does he make all these videos? He lives with me. I never see him make videos, but he has his own little secrets and stuff, and so it's crazy. You never know. Kids are changing every single day. But I guess what motivates me is the idea of I'm responsible. Like, I have to be responsible for these lives, and that makes me get up and work extremely hard at what I do, regardless of what anybody thinks or how everyone views me. Or, let's go from a very breaking level, the way Moy trains or the way Moy acts or this and that. Like, this is for my kids, because I've seen a lot of people that I've been breaking 24 years, and in those 24 years, I've seen a lot of people come and go. And most of the time, they go because they feel like they can't do what they love to do to make a living. And so they stop, and then they get old, and then they regret so much. They regret so much. And so I wanted to change that. Like, I wanted to do something where I didn't want to stop doing what I love to do. We don't stop loving our kids. So why is it that you're going to stop loving to dance or loving to create art or create music or whatever it is that you do? And so, I created a place like Break Free, that one day it could be a platform for not just my kids, but for many kids. And it's tough. It's extremely tough. But at the same time, I can wake up every single day and I know that I'm not just responsible for my family anymore, but for all the families that are a part of Break Free. And if that's not motivating to me, then I might as well just die, because there is so much life to it. So this is not about being the best B-boy or B-girl on the planet. It's just about being a good person and providing good opportunities, and knowing that you're responsible for these opportunities and that you're responsible for other people other than yourself. Yes, it does start with self-respect and self-love, because you got to love yourself. But at the end of the day, you got to love people too. Some of us, I've battled a lot of you guys in here, and we might have went at it and where we're trying to take each other's heads off. But if the beautiful part about that is that afterwards we can all just go to dinner and talk about how crazy the battle was. You know what I mean? Where's Angel at? Angel right here. I remember, Angel started coming around Break Free just recently even more, and started getting heavy and just teaching and things like that. And when he started coming around, I said, man, what's crazy is that you're going to come around and we're going to be performing together side by side, hitting the road, and then next week we're going to be battling each other. And that literally happened. And I told him, like, he hit the road with us and was doing some shows with us with Monster on the road. And then, like, next week later, we're in Denver battling. And I said, I told you. And I said, that's the beauty of it. Why are we trying to take each other's heads off? And why are you saying, oh, his style is better than yours, or he has more flavor than you, or he's much stronger than you? Who cares? Just enjoy what's happening. Be a fan of what's happening. There's so many changes, and just be a fan. And I'm a fan of of all these changes and what's happening in the breaking scene, but I'm a fan of my kids, and I don't want that to change. So I'm motivated by so much, man. I'm motivated by so much, and I can't stand here and tell you that my life is dandy and I'm seeing unicorns and rainbows all day long, because I'm not. I recently saw a meme, and I shared it a few times, and it says that if you want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream. You know what I mean? But yet, you have a lot of leaders in the community. You guys are leaders. We're leaders in the community. And it is some of the toughest roles and shoes to fulfill, because everyone is looking at you and they're critiquing you, and they want this and they want that, and you can't always give them that. But we're so human, right, that our flesh always wants to be like pointing at everything that you did wrong, And even with our kids, they could be doing the same thing. So be a role model for your kids if you do have kids, and when you do have kids.
Yeah.
And that's extremely important. So again, and on that topic, man, I could talk about it all day long, because I get so motivated by it. And I think that, having a kid should not be a stopping point. not being able to believe that dancing can take you to a new level and pursue a career should not be a stopping point. You just find a way to make it happen. Just like the way you found that new thread or that new transition to get to a new move is the same exact way. Approach it the exact same way. And so I'm just very blessed by opportunity, man, and being able to create opportunity and be present with it. And so, that's my take on it.
So being on expecting father or mother, and especially if you're a b-boy or b-girl, an artist in general, I of course agree 1000% with what Gravity and Moy said about using it as fuel and using it as motivation to fuel your art. But to kind of put it into a different perspective, I think you have to view it and reduce it to something simple. And like having a baby is a change in your life. And it, of course, is one of the biggest changes that can happen. But as an artist and as someone who creates and wants to create a living off of their passion and their art, your life is going to constantly be changing. And you have to view becoming a father or a mother as simply a change. And what are you going to do with any change in your life? And how are you going to handle that? And the simple way to look at it is you have to use it as fuel. And it also is, in a way, like the ultimate test as to if you really love this and you really are down for this. And while it is going to change your path as a b-boy or b-girl or an artist, you should use it as a positive way and as a positive fuel to how it is going to change your path. I know there's like a lot of things and a lot of emotions going into becoming a father or a mother, but a lot of it is like you have to think about why you have, if there's any doubts in your mind, like, or if you're scared or nervous about what's going to happen, ask yourself, why are you nervous? Why are you scared? And I think there's a difference between being nervous and being scared. While it's perfectly fine to be nervous or to be scared, you have to think ahead and think about what you're going to do with those nerves or those fears. And personally, like, there was not one time where I doubted if I was whether or not I was going to stop dancing or not, because I just knew, like, from the moment I started dancing that I loved this and this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life. Like, once I decided to make that decision, I knew no matter what, I was going to make that happen. And I fully believe that every single person who makes that decision and says that they want to do it and they're convicted with that 100%, then they can do that no matter what happens in life. And any change that comes about in your life, it of course is going to change that path, but it's always rooted in foundation with that conviction and your belief as an artist and as somebody who loves this. And you got to think about it. I like what Moy said. I think he said something about relating it to, like, your dance is just like your fatherhood or you being a mother or a father. And it's simply love. Like, I of course love my kids more than I love breaking, but I love breaking, and I'm going to treat, like, on the base level, I love what I do and I love my kids. So the same type of energy and thought that I put into my kids, I'm going to also match that with my dance. And it also becomes like a harmonious, beneficial relationship on both ends. So the more that I put time and effort into my kids, as funny as it sounds, I believe it makes me a better b-boy. It makes me a better dancer. And the more that I put into my dance, the more that I believe it makes me a better father, because I'm convicted on both sides that I love my kids and I love this dance. So I think if you're true to your heart and you're true to the core and you have love for your soon-to-be kids and you have love for yourself and you have love for your dance, then you'll be good. So, boom.
Let's go, y'all. We're getting some good questions. Who had the rock, paper, scissors? Let's go. Dang. Shut it down. What's your name and your question?
What's up, y'all? My name is Riley. So following up this question about, having kids, or for basically any breaker that wants to make a living out of this, and, in a world where we're constantly told you got to go to school, got to go to college and get a job, what advice do you have for making this a lifelong thing to be able to support your passion? Is it teaching? Is it constantly going to competitions? Obviously having a sponsorship? Just want to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
From my opinion, I'm 20 years old, so I literally just got out of high school, maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago, and I come from parents that, that's the norm. Like, you get out of high school, you go to college, you get a degree, and you do that job for the rest of your life. And I watched my parents struggle and work for somebody, my whole life, and I always had a different outlook when it came to that, because, you know, you go to college and you pay to get this degree and you're learning from somebody. Let's just say business. I know a lot of people go to college for business, and you're learning from this person who's probably never even opened up a business themselves. Like, they're not going to teach you what to do when you're behind on the bill. They're not going to teach you what to do when there's nobody coming to your location, you know? And that's something that you have to experience yourself. So to make it in life doesn't really mean making it financially. You got to fulfill yourself and what you actually love to do. And when you do what you love to do with full passion and full energy, I promise you somebody will pay you to do it.
Real fast, y'all. So I want you guys to know, like, I'm gonna just put you out there, Ty. Like, I've known Ty since, believe it or not, Ty used to be this big, right? Believe it or not, Ty used to be this big. But I met Ty before I was even breaking, just flipping, and he was just doing his thing. A kid making money in the street for himself, providing for his family, and watching his brothers and him since they were kids to now Ty being 1,000 feet tall has been really like killing the game out there. Still to this day, entrepreneur all day. Like I want to say a hardworking man all day. So Ty, maybe you could share like your mentality on where you're at with this.
Yo. I'm gonna be honest.
Let me get $1.
One thing that motivated me was my father wasn't there, and my mom was working a 9 to 5, and I had my brothers. So how many of y'all seen the movie You Got Served?
Yo.
Did that motivate y'all in any way to dance?
Hey, that's why I started breaking, just so you know. It was that movie.
Stop
I swear
lying.
to God. No, I swear to God. Swear to God, that movie's why I started breaking.
No, but I had a talent, you know, and dance was one of my talents, and I just found myself like out coming to 42nd Street and seeing these guys perform, and I was like, you know what, I can do that, and I gave it a try, and at the end of it, one of them came up to me and was like, here, take $30. I was like, what, 30? You know, at the time I was like, what, 11 years old. I went home and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna cut school the next day. I don't influence none of y'all to do this, but I cut school the next day, and my teacher had called my mom like, hey, Tashawn didn't come to school today. And when I got home, she like, what you doing? And I was like, you don't even know what's about to happen. I went street performing, and I made like $150 at the time. And she was like, boy, she had the belt ready. I know how my moms get down. I'm going home. I'm getting a butt whipping.
You were ready.
She was ready, but I knew from down in my heart, I was like, this gonna work. This gonna get her. And I had the money in my pocket. It was a bunch of singles at the time. And I got home, and my brother's like, boy, mom gonna get you. I'm like, listen, watch this. So she's like, come here. Where were you? Where were you? And I was like, mom, before you start, check this out. Threw the money on the bed, had like $50 worth of change, dumped it on the bed. She was like, hey. She like, oh, okay. But let me tell you something. I know you got the money, but I don't influence you to cut school. And I say that to say this. I didn't know what this path was going to take me, but I didn't give up, and I just started street performing. And street performing, I met so many people. A lot of y'all don't know Minnow. I always give Minnow my best respect, because he was the one who flew me out to B1. I don't know if it was it was a jam in Holland, and he flew me out for exhibition. And after that, a lot of organizers see me from other corporations like, hey, that dude is dope, come to this one. And from that, I would say this, just be prepared for what's to come your way, you know. Just be prepared, you know. You never know what's going to come. Like, I didn't know I was going to be signed to Monster. I didn't know I was going to be with Gravity. Like, Gravity, you put me out, I'm going to put you out.
Yeah.
I didn't like Gravity from a hole in the wall. And he know. We had bad history. And but now we here. You know, now we on the same team, Monster team. And just be prepared. You never know what's to come. You never know what's to come. So if you're making money, you're meeting good people, don't burn any bridges. Don't burn any bridges. You understand? Let's get it.
Hey. Yo, just so y'all know, Ty didn't like me because there was an influence. Everybody's like, yo, Gravity got this, and they were like, yo, Gravity versus Tata. That's how it started, bro. So let's be clear here. Huh? No, we cleared it up. We cleared it up.
Could y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? I just want to backdoor that real quick.
So you're just gonna interrupt?
Yeah, basically.
All right, go ahead, dude.
All right. So, just like y'all were saying, experience is like the best teacher. But I wouldn't knock off school.
Agreed.
Because, well, back to what you were saying about your parents, or say like your parents not, because my parents were the same way. them not believing or seeing the future in breaking, I mean, it's unprecedented until, Moy came in, started this program. Red Bull, they're doing their things as well. It's unprecedented. So, we need, we don't have, there's nothing to show for it.
You have a degree, right?
Until this. Yes, I have a degree, sports management and business minor at University of Houston.
Come on, y'all. And you dance full time.
And I dance full time. So
no excuses.
the reason why I'm bringing this up is because growing up, I needed these traits and these. I just need to learn. I need to learn more about business, because if you don't know how to assert yourself properly, people will take advantage of you. So if, just like me, I'm still working on my English till now. Like, I have people checking me on my English all the time, because when I grew up, I was not really taught the correct way to speak English. Slang, there's slang everywhere. You got to learn how to speak to, let's say, investors or just higher up people, that could really take you further in your breaking. So really if you need to, I would say take school just for those networking skills, interviewing skills, how to do a resume, how to create just whatever, Excel work, all that stuff I didn't know until now, and it took me a long way. I know how to speak to people. I just know how to present myself better, just because of school. And plus, I would say the number one thing with school, the reason why you should do school, is to network. Networking is like the number one thing. You can't get a job without connections, or you just need it.
It's crazy you say that. I have some friends that went to college, and now that they're older, obviously my age, and they connect, and they have like one of my friends connected with another friend who's a real estate agent, and this one is a lawyer now, and it's like, so there is connections. I don't knock school. Obviously breaks full time, has a degree. There's no excuses. Some of us are lazy. As we get older, we're highly influenced and we want to party. I say I threw away 18 to 23 because I was traveling a lot, and I was just partying, drinking, thinking that's what it was about, and I lost myself. I was hella uneducated at one point too, and I did not go to college. And I do have a GED. I'm not even afraid to say that. But at the same time, I surrounded myself around educated people. And so not everybody has the same path. I didn't go to college for whatever my reasons were. Not everybody does. And some people do choose to. But at the same time, I think you are also who you surround yourself by. That's really, really important. Anybody else got some questions? Oh, go. Oh, let's go, baby. Go ahead. Yeah, take that mic.
Check. Yeah. I went to school as well. I got my AA. It's very important. It's just a different mentality you get from school. Can I just talk like this?
Yeah.
But as far as like with breaking, as far as for me, I teach at different studios. I've been dancing for 25 years, so I do travel a lot. I teach a lot of workshops. I have a group. I do shows with Zeko as well. So I've done theater for 16 years. I've done industry work. So there's many angles you can do to figure out where to get your money from with breaking. But you have to use them all, you know. You can't just be teaching and expect to make a living, you know. You have to get a group that have the same mentality, create shows, sell that, you know. You can teach at so many studios or have your own studio and be able to make it with that, you know. But there's so many different angles. You go into theater and add that to it, you know. As far as for me, I use everything, you know. I literally teach, I do shows, I do industry work, I go to castings, you know. So you just have to use it all. It's the only way. You can't just pick one and think you're gonna make it. It's not gonna happen.
Also, just so you guys know, like, which is awesome, right? Make some noise for Lego. I want to point out real fast, maybe not everybody knows, if you're not too familiar with Zulu Gremlin, a lot of times he's not just in the breaking scene. He may go and stray a different way, but he does some other things that is pretty awesome. And he said that, he told me earlier today, you're heavy in the fashion industry as well. So if you could share kind of.
I want to say something about Gremlin real quick.
Yeah. You want them?
Yeah, so I know we're transitioning over to Zulu Gremlin because maybe some of you guys know him and some of you guys don't. But Zulu Gremlin, why he always stood out to me is I remember being a kid and I would see him and he was just the flyest dude. Always wearing Louis, Gucci, Burberry. He had a Go Grill.
Hey, the shoes are Louis right now.
He was just always so fresh. But he was always the one to be like trying to help everybody and educate everybody and talk to everybody and network. I mean, he was one of the first few guys that I met that gave me a business card in the breaking scene. You know what I mean? And that showed me a lot. You know what I mean? And so, like, I respect this dude so much. And I even told him, we were in Mexico City recently, and I said, why aren't you, like, judging more of these big events, man? There's no, like, this dude knows so much. He knows so much. And I remember we were just chatting recently, and I'm like, you're coming to Break Free. You're coming to the Break Free anniversary. I said, we're going to make that happen because you just have so much to share. And he spoke one time earlier, and I still remember everything that he said because it was so powerful. It had so much history, and it had so much present history. Like, you can apply it in so many different ways. And so I just wanted to big him up real quick because, you know, like, seeing him as a kid and just seeing him now, his style has not changed at all. And there's a lot of people who are changing throughout the years. And he's always been so fresh, so professional, always ready to go. And that's something that to look after. You know, we look after B-boys and B-girls for the wrong things at some of these jams and some of these days. You know, we're looking for, like, somebody may have the best air flares, or somebody may have the best air chair, or somebody might have the best style or whatever. But, like, overall, this dude carries everything. You know what I'm saying? Not only is he a ill B-boy, but he's a great person. He's great at business, and he's always creating something new. And the time he freaked me out the most is when I was at B-Boy Summit 99, and he was performing with a company called Media Circus. Have you guys ever heard of Media Circus? If you don't know about Media Circus, this is going to change your life in how you view performances. I remember when I saw this, it blew my mind. I didn't even know who was in these suits. People trip out when they see Jabberwockies with a white mask. These dudes were in astronaut suits, like just going in, and it was just so fresh, man. And when I saw that, I'm like, yo, you were just a guy that was battling, and then you were hosting the event, and then you were in an astronaut suit. Like, I was like, what is going on? Like, he does it all. He does it all. And so that covers the angle that Lego was talking about. He's like, yo, you can't just teach and think you're gonna make a living. You know what I mean? I don't think Zulu Gremlin does anything else but just produce and produce and produce in everything that he's involved in. And for me, that's, besides him, I think being such an ill B-boy and building a path for breakers, for me, he's here because I wanted him to see what we're doing as Break Free, because there aren't a lot of people taking, business to another level in our community. You know, it's all very one-sided, but yo, thank you for being here, man. And I know I can go on and on and on and on, but yeah.
Seriously, on Zulu Gremlin, the reason I'm sitting in this chair right now talking to you guys is because he created the platform in Miami for me to be able to dance, pro-ams, all those little events that he threw for us when I was a little kid. He knows me since I was a baby, so he's seen it all. If it wasn't for him, I don't think Miami would have a place, so thank you for that.
I appreciate the words, man. And, I've known these guys for mad years. And, what I do and what I've done was never for a price tag or for a pat on the back or anything. I come from an era where we represented crews, represented a banner. I wasn't out there saying Zulu Gremlin nothing. I was out there representing big squads with big dreams of trying to make shit right in a world that took the flavorous part of the culture and chewed it up real nice and then spit it out and said, what's next? So that being said, from me coming from that type of cut and sew and that cloth, I was presented with some of the hardest things that you could present to a person. One, I'm short, not tall. Two, I'm Latino in something that they think was all completely made black. And three, I was representing the West Coast, living in the Bronx. So if you could imagine, what we did is the introduction of hip-hop culture to the entire world was introduced as a sharp blade, like a sword. And it was put on my shoulders and a couple other people who were brave enough to say, yeah, we'll speak the truth, because truth is truth. It's one of our pillars. And we turned that sharp sword into a letter opener throughout, in business, in the government, around the world, in theater, on every platform that you can see this culture, from television, commercial, film, and so forth. We took something that people were so afraid of that they would hold their children away from, and gave them the opportunity to, and cracked open that door so that they trusted us with their children. And so the generations that would come after that, and me being the age I am now, we all, everybody at my age has children, some have grandchildren, and some of what's happening in hip hop right now is the result of that, is the children and the grandchildren of those people. And so some things that are supposed to be right will never be right. We're supposed to be fighting for that. It's never going to be right. We have to continue that fight. Some people get an easy walk, just like in every battle. There's two people that made it to the end, and one had an easy road, and one had a real hard road. Hip hop, the entire life for a b-boy has always been that hard road, because it's been a support system. Remember, dance, the definition of dance itself is the physical celebration of life to music. But when you get inside of the mind of a b-boy, then you're talking about turning that into a war dance. And so this right now, where we're at in terms of how the world has changed, was only because some of us really pushed against it and fought against it, because they were trying to take it away. They said b-boying was a passing fad in 1984. Wow. By 85, it was scarce. I was searching the streets for who was left. The last competition I was in, it said veterans category, and that was 1985. So we're talking about everybody that were from the first generation of the 70s had given up on it before 77. The second generation of b-boys, who you all know as the first generation, the Rocksteadies and all those, and New York City Breakers, the second generation, are the ones that carried that torch. The third generations, where I come in from carrying that torch, all of a sudden, there was nothing on the planet Earth for us. So this is something where you have to reinvent yourself, and this is why you start to understand, okay, what is it in itself? Hip-hop culture was changing. We didn't have something to sell. Dancing, it's your body. They were trying to sell cardboard. They're trying to sell ski hats. They're trying to do all kinds of stuff with it, but it really wasn't making any sense, and everybody was growing out of it. And so if you notice, b-boying and b-girling is the youth. It's the youngest part of the culture, but it's the first one to be abandoned by the culture. And so, they say these are the hip hop awards and there's nothing but rappers there. We're dealing with this still. 3-4 decades later, we're still dealing with the same things. So as we push forward, and as you know the difference between the moonwalk and the backslide, as you know the difference between a continuous back and a windmill, these are all important things that are supposed to have lineage, and so that the people you see here, they're going to have their place in history. And as we progress forward and the next generation takes it on, you're supposed to embrace all these people and celebrate them as the heroes of your dance, of your life. In boxing, you don't see like boxers get in the boxing match and then challenge the judges that are judging the boxing match, because those dudes are in their 70s and 80s. So we're talking about a system of being able to recycle the respect we have, but to build a genuine respect and love for all the people that build their name in this game, so that the lineage will continue.
Yeah, I believe that's real. Like my beef with that is not what you said, but I believe that everything right now is hella backwards. I believe that like the younger guys are judging now, and there's like it's like so backwards. I feel like the OGs should, like the real OGs should be judging if we had that like level of respect, that equal level of respect. Yeah, we don't have an order of operation, bro.
Here's something really interesting to understand also, and here's something good for the people in different generations, because we're always thinking about how much respect should we have and how it should actually parlay in our own lives, right?
I think it should just be equal.
But check this out. Imagine this. Back in the days, there was suckers. Back in the days, there was biters. Back in the days, there was people that was fronting the whole time. Now, do they deserve the same respect as the ones that weren't? And so it's really not just respecting by age, it's respecting by the age, the story, what you do and what you continue to do. Because I'm not telling everybody you have to work with all the old school dudes. If they're hard to work with, you can't work with them. We used to want to be around talented people. Now we trade that in to be around good people who are talented. And that's something about collaborative effort. You can only work with people that you can work with. And then we have balance. So we're not supposed to be able to work with everybody. We still need someone to battle. We still need someone to train against. So we want people to work together and build these things, but we also still want someone to go to war against, to be able to sharpen those skills. You don't have a gun that's never shot. You don't know if it's actually gonna shoot if you've never shot it. And so these are all just,
Yo. So, I'm glad, just so y'all know, I'm glad that y'all are here, but this is like, I'm like more like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, just know, like, I know some of you, not everybody here is breaking a long time. Some people are, some of y'all are parents. This is knowledge that I'm just hearing today at 13 years later. So this is like a treat. I'm looking at y'all. I'm seeing everybody really into what he's saying as much as I am. So I just want to let you know I noticed that. Like, it's crazy because, like, if it was bullshit, y'all would have called on it a long time ago. But I could feel that, and it freaking it's tight. Like, I don't know, I'm hyped, my bad. Anyway, yo, I think you nailed it on the dime with that one, bro. Let's go. Another question. You were next. Yeah. Come on. Wait. Let me get to you, bro. So this mic, just so y'all know, it goes to the YouTube channel so that they can hear it well. Come on, dog. We know where we at. We don't need brand.
So my name's Chris. This is more like a professional question. So me and my homie and some friends back home, we're Oklahoma City. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I know, right? So very soon, like the next couple weeks, we're starting a dance team with a pretty big brand back home. It's new to us. It's new to the brand themselves. So everything's kind of a fresh start. So just in general, like all of y'all come from different backgrounds, different styles of the dance, different perceptions and goals with y'all's dance. Just how have y'all just made it successful in work? Because I would assume y'all butt heads on certain projects. Maybe y'all butt heads with Monster and like what they want, what y'all want. Like, how do y'all rep yourselves, rep the team, and rep the culture all at the same time?
Oklahoma got the question. Yo, Moy, in a nutshell.
I got you. First and foremost, congratulations, because it's not easy to work with brands. It really isn't. Whether it's a small brand or a big brand, but the best advice I can give you is to go above and beyond. Because I recently made a post. I think a lot of people struggle with this whole know your worth thing. I think there's a lot of misconceptions in know your worth. Yes, individually, we're all worth $1 million. But if my bank account says $25, guess what? I'm worth $25 in the business world. You know what I'm saying? And right now, breaking and all these other street dances, they're at the bottom of the totem pole. They are. So the best advice I can give you is to show improve. Show improve. Because you can come up, write the best proposal of your life. You can think that you're worth $1 million. You think you can be the illest breaker on the planet, right? But this company does not know nothing about you. Does not know nothing about this idea or the concept of performing. Doesn't know anything about, doesn't know why their brand is going to work with your individual brand that doesn't have an impact the way their brand does, right? So from a marketing standpoint, any company that wants to pour in money into you, it has to make sense. So you may think, and you can look at every corporate company, you can be like, man, but they got billions of dollars. They'll do these. You want me to tell you why they got billions of dollars? It's because they make smart decisions. So they don't want money spent for it to be burnt. They want every dollar, every cent to count. And the best advice I can give you to partner up with brands like that and to make that successful is to do more than what you are paid for. To do more than what you are paid for. And then later you will soon be paid for everything that you've ever been done. But you have to show them how much you care, right? You have to be loyal to the brand. You have to be excited about the brand, right? Because your goal as a partner is to let everybody know how good this brand does for you and what it can do for them. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how much you care about your sponsorship and all this, at the end of the day is to reach new consumers. In business, is to reach new consumers. New people to buy the product, new people to buy this, and new people to buy that. That's part of the corporate world. That's just business 101, right? So from a b-boy standpoint, why b-boys and b-girls don't get more or are as successful as they can be is because they only think about themselves. They don't think about the brand. And so a lot of these brands don't want to invest more money into them because all they do is just think about themselves. They want to get there and collect the check. I get it. Trust me, we all want to collect the check. But there's been a long road that I've been paving with companies like Monster who support what I did, but I had to show them. I had to show them because who am I? I'm nobody. They're probably sponsoring people, spending tens of millions of dollars weekly, yearly, I don't know. But at the end of the day, we have to let them know how valuable we are. I can't just tell them, yeah, man, I'm worth $1 million, man. I done this, I done that. I did Silverback Open, I did BC1. They're gonna be like, huh? What is all that? They don't know none of that because all those breaking events are like way down here. But then they got NASCAR, X Games. They got all these bigger names. And the only way we can ever be at that level is when we get to that level. That's the only way. So my biggest advice to you as a new partner to a new brand is do more. Do more. And don't feel bad about doing more. Don't be like, but I deserve this, I deserve that. Because they'll cut you really quick, and then you're gonna wish you didn't break that partnership. And that's why I don't like the idea of know your worth, because I think there's some misconceptions behind it. I think a lot of people lose a lot of opportunity, and some people may think it's selling out, and they may think it's this, but it's not. That's just business. There's a difference between the personal life and then the business life. In business, these are the things that you have to do. And if you want to pursue business, then it's this. If you want to break for a living for fun, don't hate on the people that are pursuing business. You know what I mean? That's two different worlds. And so just do more, man. Do more. Even when it doesn't make sense, you got to keep doing more. Because every dollar spent has to matter.
Sorry, I just want to add something to that too. And it's directed to you and mostly the youth because, being 20 years old and working with a brand, I've learned a lot. And I think that the position that I'm in has put me on a path to be able to speak to the guys who are my age or a little bit younger. Yo, nobody cares how dope you are. Like, they don't. Like, that's 20% of what this is. It's about being professional. It's about learning how to articulate yourself. It's about being professional. It's about playing the game. Like, it's 20% being dope, 80% knowing what you're actually doing. Like, the skills don't pay the bills. It's being a good person and knowing what you're doing. So that's just a quick little add-on that I want to give to the youth.
Ooh, man, I've made a lot of mistakes. I won't lie. Hey, I've made a lot of mistakes, man. Moy has coached me through a lot, y'all. So just so you know, you may make some mistakes out there. Just know, like, just don't keep making the same. Yeah, just don't make the same. Yeah, it's okay to make mistakes, but learn from them. I've grown a lot on a professional level. It's been rough, but luckily you said you have a team. You're working with this brand, man, and just know it's a relationship. If you treat it less like a sponsorship and more like a relationship, I think you will grow together. Because you said they're a big company, but they're a big company where you're from. They're still growing, and they're always going to continue to grow. So as long as you understand this relationship, y'all want to grow together within that division or area that you want to grow in together. You know what I'm saying?
And ask 100 questions, bro.
Yeah.
Ask 100 questions. Ask
All day.
100 questions. Seek that knowledge. Like, if you know somebody that works with a business, ask them, like, yo, how did you do it? That's really what I did with Moy. I told Moy, we battled there. I don't want to say the name of the competition, but we battled there, and he beat me. And I went up to him, I sent him a message, and I said, yo, Moy, like, you beat me. You have something that I must not have, and I want to learn what it is. And I started flying myself out, investing my own money, and then now look where we're at today. And it's me. I call it, yo, be annoying. Like, really, be annoying. Ask questions. If the worst thing they could do is say no. Ask the people that you know that are in the same game as you. Like I said in the workshop, social media has gave us the opportunity to reach out to whoever we want. Bro, you can send a DM to the president. The president has an Instagram account. Like, you can reach anybody. You know what I'm saying? So just ask 100 questions, bro. Yeah, probably not.
Hey, real talk. So we have time for one last question. Make it a good one. Make it. Give me something. I want to laugh right now. I know we laughing, but come on, y'all. Let's make it a good question. The you got sir, sorry. Oh shit. With go ahead, yeah.
With the business 101, like you were saying, do you have to have your own brand too to like reach out other people, like you say, like you know how Monster like they want to reach out more consumers. So through create your escape, like you have to have your own brand to like work with these companies, or you could just. You know what I'm saying?
So, I don't think you need to have your own brand. You just need to understand what you bring and show them what you bring. I will be 1,000% transparent that it's easier when you have something to show. It definitely is. And so my advice to you is, this is like what you see at Break Free. Like if you came here last year, it wasn't like this. If you came here 2 years, nowhere near like this. 3 years ago, nowhere near like this. So everything is an investment, but a lot of people don't want to invest. Every ounce of money or every piece of money that they make wants to go right into their pocket, right? I probably live off 10% of what I make and invest 90% of what I make. You know what I mean? And that is 1,000% real. So, but I believe in what I'm doing. I believe what it creates long term. And so when other brands see that, they're like, man, he cares much more than just about himself. So that is my personal brand. So even if Break Free didn't exist or Create Your Escape didn't exist or and all these other brands didn't exist, I would still be that person. I would still be that person because that's just how I grew up. And I believe that I do have something to offer, but I'm not expecting to get the check that I want because no one knows who I am. So I'm willing to prove it. I'm willing to do whatever I can. And so let's go back from like to a dance perspective. Like even today, some of us been breaking for so long. Everyone tells me, why you still competing, man? You've been doing that for so long. Or why you train the way you train? Or, you know, why you do it? Because I still feel like I got something to prove and I want to. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I just want to do it. And it's not, if it's an issue with you, then you're thinking too much about me and you got to go practice. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel. That's just the honest truth. But when it comes to business, you have to take the same approach. You have to believe in who you are, you know, but without losing that opportunity, without saying, yeah, I'm this, I'm that. You know, it's just like in breaking, right? It's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's the same way in business. You take the same spin, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? It's not what you're investing in, but it's how you're investing in. Like there's so many different ways to be involved and be able to grow that. So you don't need a unique brand to be involved. It helps, but you don't need it because I started it without it. You know what I mean?
And I think you yourself are a brand. Like you are a brand.
Yes,
you know?
personal brand.
Like
yeah.
Moy is a brand and Break Free is its own brand. It's not Moy's Break Free. It's Moy and it's Break Free, you know? Same thing with Gravity. It's Gravity and then there's Gravity TV, you know? So you yourself are your own brand. So don't think about like, oh, I'm nobody, you know? You have something to offer. You're different from the person who's sitting next to you. So you are your own brand. Everybody in here is their own brand. It's just what you decide to do with it.
Yeah. Can I? One of the most important things to remember, though, which is the most important, of course, is self-care, right? Taking care of yourself, knowing the foods you're putting into your body, you know? Like research your foods, take care of yourself, stretch out, drink water, because without longevity, you won't be able to do this dance, you know? You got to work out. You got to find ways to stay young, you know, because you do age, and you're going to get old, and it gets harder and harder and harder. So find ways to keep yourself healthy, young, research your food, know exactly what you're putting into your body, because there is a lot of bad foods out there and it's getting worse. So take care of yourself.
Yeah. So just to wrap this up real fast, y'all. I love my team, just so y'all know. I love y'all. Lego.
We love you too.
Zulu Gremlin. Yo, thank you for being here. Yo, Houston, Oklahoma, Miami, thank you guys for being here. And real fast, you know, the better you treat your life, obviously, the better opportunities happen in your life. It just happens like that. What you put into the universe, you get right back, man. And if this is the camera right here, holla at your boy. Gravity TV. Hope y'all enjoyed. Shout outs to everybody out here. Thank you. First time. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit a comment. We out. Let's go. Peace.